wonder what happens when you mix hot lava and chicken?
Now let's get the latest on the disaster that is Disney's reimagining of Snow White.
Man, she's not looking very good, is she? Yikes. Yeah, this is the last one that came out.
And it looks like Rachel Zegler is not royalty here, or these are the most recent photos of Rachel Zegler, looking completely derelict and homeless.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure.
I am the Snow White now.
This thing is an absolute disaster, all right? An absolute disaster. This is an absolute calamity. This is a catastrophe. This is a tragedy, an apocalypse, an accident, a fatality, a debacle. This is a casualty. This is a cataclysm, a crash, a collapse, an upheaval, a meltdown, a misfortune, Armageddon, doomsday.
What would the Joker say to Disney in these moments? He'd say, you get what you effing deserve, because Disney knowingly hired the most insufferable feminist girl boss in the history of cinema to play its most iconic Disney princess.
I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
When we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
This is not Snow White, but this is the movie that they made. And it's like, oh yeah, she's gonna be a girl boss. She's gonna liberate her kingdom. Well, congratulations, you played yourself. This is what you get when you try to push feminism and bullshit girl boss moves on the people. The people ain't rocking with it.
It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that has reached a generation of people.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White.
Right.
You should shut up and do the job.
Also, Rachel Zegler, boy, certainly does look homeless these days. Maybe it is hurting. You know, these actors and actresses get paid on points. So how well the movie does influences the amount of money that they make and their royalties. If the movie makes no money, they won't get any royalties from it. And it looks like Rachel Zegler is not royalty here, or these are the most recent photos of Rachel Zegler, looking completely derelict and homeless.
For remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs, okay?
Okay, but what do they call them?
Why
would
they get rid of the dwarfs, though?
Magical
creatures. But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group. You just erased that whole image. The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage. There's power of being on TV. There's power of television. And to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story. Don't change the character.
Rachel Zegler learned that your star can fall about as fast as it rises. Here's a photo of Rachel Zegler taken today. Okay. Looking like a complete slob. Hungover as hell. Wobbling around after Disney loses hundreds of millions of dollars, and she is to blame.
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. So listen up, fairy godmothers. There's a new train wreck in town, and it's wearing a tiara that nobody asked for. This loud-mouthed Rachel Zegler chick, who was once hailed by some as the next big Disney princess, is taking a royal nosedive with the live-action Snow White remake. Critics are calling it a massive bomb. Disney shareholders are allegedly clutching their pearls, and fans are screaming, "We want our money back." If you thought the original Snow White was a whimsical classic, buckle up. This bizarre fiasco is loaded with memes, paparazzi shots, and enough cringe to power an entire theme park, assuming Disney still has any fans left who'd actually show up.
Is that you can be scientifically proven. Did people wait in line to see Rachel Zegler? Well, Rachel Zegler was able to find that out herself and put it on film.
Tickets, please.
For which movie?
why would you post this? You know, you don't have to post it. It's bad content. So this is Rachel Zegler and her dirtbag group of friends holding up popcorn and soda cups with her face on it. Why would anybody want to eat off that? I don't know. Certified too. And scowling, she's the only person in line. The guy taking the tickets doesn't know her, which is an extra added insult.
But why did everything tank so hard, so fast? Is it the painfully preachy storyline? Or could it be Rachel's, shall we say, not so humble, stupid attitude? Or maybe it's Disney's unspoken motto of, we don't care about our audience, just shut up and buy our merch. Tonight, we peel back the shiny PR veneer and expose the meltdown behind the mouse ears. Spoiler alert, the cringe runs deep. But before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe, because unlike Rachel Zegler, I know I'm nothing without your support. Now back to the tea. Let's start at the beginning. Snow White, a classic so beloved that you'd think Disney would cherish it like the family heirloom it is.
This movie is an absolute disaster. It is one of the biggest disasters we have ever seen. A princess joins forces with 7 dwarves and a group of rebels to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the evil queen. What movie is this, Disney? What the hell is y'all trying to pull on us? This ain't Snow White.
Instead, rumor has it the studio decided, let's toss in some questionable messaging, inflated production budgets, and cross our fingers. Enter loudmouth Rachel Zegler, fresh from West Side Story and apparently sporting the biggest chip on her shoulder since Thanos tried collecting Infinity Stones. Disney poured an eye-watering $300 million into this remake, plus who knows how many millions on marketing. They plastered Rachel's face on billboards, cereal boxes, anything that could stand still for 5 minutes. That alone might not have doomed the film, but here's where it got interesting. Rachel Zegler, with all the grace of a caffeinated parrot, started popping off on social media, urging specific groups to, quote, stay away if they didn't align with her personal politics.
And it's actually non-negotiable. Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights. Come on. Go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
And guess what? A lot of folks took her advice, happily skipping the movie altogether. So if you're looking for an example of brand synergy, you won't find it here, unless you consider alienating fans a savvy business strategy. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Disney executives apparently thought any publicity was good publicity. They pushed forward, ignoring the mounting online backlash and hoping the girl boss vibe would magically rake in profits. Surprise, it didn't. Instead of leading to box office gold, the movie sank faster than the Titanic, ultimately waltzing into theaters with the grace of a drunk elephant.
That's just how it goes. F around, find out. Snow White stalls at the box office as Rotten Tomato score plummets even further. The movie is yet to hit $100 million domestically and the $200 million mark worldwide. With around $85 million domestically so far, Snow White has next to no chance of hitting $100 million. They spent $300 million on making this, double that for marketing. This thing is an absolute live action nightmare. And now it's sunk all the way down here to, 11 in the box office, being beaten by multiple movies.
Now let's zoom in on the star of this tragic show, Rachel Somebody Get Me a Muzzle Zegler. Every time she tweeted or opened her mouth, it was another round of self-inflicted PR sabotage. She didn't just have an opinion, she had opinions. And she served them up with a side of condescension so thick, you'd need a chainsaw to cut through it. She told critics she didn't need their business, spat on Disney purists who dared to question her brand of activism, and basically acted like the audience was an optional inconvenience. So it's no shocker that folks who once admired her singing talent were left scratching their heads, wondering if maybe she inhaled too many fairy dust fumes on set.
Okay, so she says to this country right there, that she doesn't need their business. And this country was happy to oblige by giving Rachel Zegler the largest box office bomb of her career, effectively ending her career. No one's ever going to want to see Rachel Zegler star in anything ever again. The empty theaters was a giant F you. We'll do exactly what you say, Rachel Zegler. You said you don't want our business. Well, Trump won the popular vote here.
One particularly eye-rolling moment came during an interview where she dismissed the legacy of the original Snow White. She basically implied that the 1937 classic was too outdated to be relevant, and that her updated version was morally superior. Because sure, a film that endured for 80 plus years needed Rachel's personal seal of improvement. Real subtle, Rach. Real subtle.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah. Weird.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Weird, okay? Weird.
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 What? I'm sorry. I mean, what? What? What?
If you thought Rachel was the only culprit, think again. Mickey Mouse's corporate overlords have their share of blame. By most accounts, Disney couldn't care less about the fans who actually buy the tickets. Need proof? Just look at how they responded to the swirling controversy. Radio silence followed by a wave of hollow marketing that felt more like an automated phone tree than a genuine attempt at winning people back. Instead of addressing concerns or clarifying creative decisions, the studio basically shrugged and doubled down, plastering cringe-inducing, modern messages into the film's script. It was almost like they were daring audiences to speak up so they could retort, "How dare you question our virtuous new direction?"
Bob Iger is extremely incompetent. He is very stubborn as a CEO. He lies to both the shareholders and the customers, hence why I like to call him Bob Liger. And the lies continue. We know that Bob Iger is continuing to go on the damage control train related to Snow White.
Meanwhile, longtime Disney loyalists, who've collectively poured billions into Disney merch and theme parks, found themselves dismissed as out of touch or backward. Because in the magical kingdom of Disney, the paying customer's opinion apparently doesn't matter unless it aligns perfectly with the corporate narrative. This strategy backfired spectacularly, with the film plummeting in box office rankings. Insiders reported internal chaos, with one unnamed executive allegedly snarking, "We'll get him next time." Because sure, who cares if you lose hundreds of millions on a beloved franchise? There's always the next live-action remake to bungle. Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the internet lit up with paparazzi shots of Rachel Zegler looking, let's just say, less than red carpet ready.
Great. She honestly looks like a homeless person at a bus stop. This is and looking rough. I mean, clearly. If you pass by somebody looking like this, you're like, dude, can I part with the grubby dollar bill in my back pocket? Yeah, totally.
Usually seeing a celebrity in sweats is no big deal. They're human, after all. But the web took one look at these unflattering snaps and exploded with mockery. Memes claimed she looked homeless, jokes about her losing it all after the Snow White implosion went viral, and Zegler meltdown started trending on TikTok for reasons no one quite understood. Suddenly, the actress who loved the spotlight was getting attention for all the wrong reasons. As for Disney, they were too busy quietly removing Snow White posters from certain international markets to comment publicly. Or maybe they were just playing whack-a-mole with the daily controversies, desperately hoping this PR nightmare would vanish if they hammered enough keyboard strokes on Twitter.
And here's the final insult to Rachel Zegler. The point that she should take away from all of this is that it's a blessing in disguise. Nobody's seeing her movie. Because the people who see her movie have all come out and roasted it.
Move over, Game of Thrones. This fiasco has more vicious attacks than the Red Wedding. Enter the AI parodies. The internet's comedic geniuses latched onto Zegler's voice and image, creating outlandish mashups that combined her lines from Snow White with everything from comedic conspiracy rants to bizarre food references. One infamous clip had her reading lines about buttered sausage in a monotone that could put a llama to sleep. It was hilarious and horrifying.
And I don't know exactly why this is a trend. I'm going to pick them. But this is the most viral trend right now is memes of Rachel Zegler in a different voice using AI like this.
You devote it to somebody else, in which case I'll try to tackle that person.
So you see kind of the vibe here is to, make this Rachel Zegler AI as retarded as possible.
Talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
And proof that you can't escape AI-generated mockery if you tick off the online mob. Naturally, these parodies made their way to every corner of social media. Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. And the more Rachel tried to defend herself, the more fodder she provided for the meme lords. It was like watching someone chase their own tail, except the tail was dipped in neon paint and blazing with fireworks. Every attempt at damage control just reignited the comedic flamethrower. Insiders whispered that Disney's top brass was concerned, which is corporate speak for, we're running around like headless chickens. Did they ever address the memes directly? Not really. Apparently, acknowledging them would only elevate them. So they opted for the tried and true approach of ignoring the internet's savage creativity. Spoiler, ignoring the internet never works. If you thought bombs only dropped at the domestic box office, think again. Certain countries outright banned Snow White, citing everything from cultural concerns to the film's preachy, finger-wagging tone. Lebanon, for instance, was quick to slam the door on Disney's precious princess.
Remember, Rachel Zegler does not need your business. Middle Eastern countries are listening to Zegler as they are banning the Snow White movie. The nation of Lebanon has banned the movie Snow White. Got it? All right.
Some fans celebrated, while others cried foul that politics were interfering with the House of Mouse. Then the legal scuttlebutt started. Words like defamation, actual malice, and smear campaign popped up online as if we were suddenly dealing with a high-stakes political drama. Conspiracy theorists alleged that big players at Disney were prepared to sue certain YouTubers or critics if the negativity got too hot to handle. Some even suggested that mainstream media outlets were covering up the box office catastrophe to protect their advertising deals. Right? Because if there's one thing that keeps the lights on, it's rewriting historical box office flops. For those who still believed in corporate goodwill, these rumors were a harsh wake-up call. Disney might be all about hugging fuzzy characters on Main Street, but behind closed doors, they're a multi-billion-dollar machine. And that machine apparently has no problem rolling over audiences or critics who stand in its way. You gotta admire the consistency. We don't care about your complaints, but we'll sue you for sharing them too loudly. While Disney tried to do damage control, Rachel's behavior didn't mellow. She was still chewing out critics online, doubling down on every take that outraged the internet in the first place. Insiders say that she's not exactly winning hearts in Hollywood either. Some claim even her co-stars tiptoe around her, wary of setting off the human time bomb that is Rachel's mouth. Despite the meltdown, she seemed determined to keep her "I'm always right" attitude. It's like she's convinced that every troll on the internet is personally out to get her. And maybe some are, but let's be real. If she'd shown even a sprinkling of humility, a lot of this drama might have fizzled out. Instead, she's fueling the fire, one cringy tweet at a time. Some fans hold on to hope that she can bounce back. After all, Hollywood loves a good redemption arc. But let's face it, how do you redeem yourself when you keep tossing logs onto the PR bonfire? Recasting rumors swirl, new projects seem hesitant to attach themselves to her, and the entire fiasco might end up as a cautionary tale for the next big Disney wannabe. As for Disney, it's business as usual. They're already moving on to the next shiny reboot. Anything to distract from the Snow White embarrassment. Will they learn from this fiasco and start caring about their audience again? Probably not. If the pattern holds, they'll keep cranking out half-baked remakes, crossing their fingers that at least one of them will bank $1 billion at the box office. Fans, meanwhile, have spoken loud and clear with their wallets. Online sentiment suggests Disney's brand is getting tarnished from too many cash grab attempts, too many politicized statements, and too little genuine respect for the folks who made them a household name. And Rachel Zegler, well, let's just say she's become a cautionary meme for aspiring actresses. Don't open your big mouth unless you're ready for the blowback. So where does that leave us? With a shrinking fan base, a star who can't keep her foot out of her mouth, and a corporate giant that shrugs off criticism like it's allergic to humility. If there's one takeaway, it's this. The audience isn't nearly as blind as these massive companies think. You can't just slap a famous IP on a subpar film, shove a loud mouth in the starring role, and expect the world to fork over their money. Fairy tale endings are earned, not mandated. And that's the story so far. Disney's would-be princess turned social media tornado, a box office bomb that might go down in history for all the wrong reasons, and an audience who's had just about enough. If you're as fascinated or horrified as we are by this ongoing carnival of cringe, hit that subscribe button to get the latest updates. Because trust me, the drama is still unraveling. We'll keep pulling back the curtain on Hollywood's biggest fiascos, media cover-ups, and every unflattering paparazzi shot that surfaces. Have we seen the last of Rachel Zegler's meltdown? Will Disney ever stop ignoring its fans? Stick around, Because in the world of corporate spin and loudmouth brats, there's always another bombshell waiting to drop. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.